We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. We continue our podcast today following a brief hiatus. Football wasn't really happening, so we didn't really have the opportunity to record, but we're back now. Football has returned and the Premier League season is continuing. My name is Kieran and I'm joined by Adrian and Connor, and we won't pause to say their names. Great. That could have gone better. So I guess a lot of new changes to the Premier League. We've seen things from sanitising footballs to empty stadiums, people taking a knee at kickoff.
Some things stay the same.
Do they?
Arsenal.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, which one of those things is the same?
We'll get to that.
Oh, we will.
It's not. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. Let's just do a podcast where we don't talk about Arsenal.
No, always have to just touch on Arsenal and United.
Well, I think it's fitting. Yeah, I think it's fitting to talk about Arsenal at length, considering that they did kind of kick off the new season following what was very, very much like a warm-up game, Villa, Sheffield United. We'll get to Arsenal, we definitely will. We'll get to United, we'll get to Liverpool, we'll get to Palace especially. But I guess just with all the new changes and with all the new things and a bit of rust from ourselves and from the teams, what do you think was your own personal highlight of football returning, or anything that stood out for you?
I quite like the knee thing.
Cool.
I think that was not emotional, but I think it was like, oh,
Yeah, I think.
geez, this is serious.
Yeah.
I think by having no names on the back of the jerseys and just having Black Lives Matter on the back instead of names, it adds an element of mystery to who's playing.
Yeah, I find like when it's teams like
who's that?
like Villa, I know a few of the players to see, but a lot of them I don't.
Yeah.
So when I see number 13
Yeah.
having a good shot, I have no fucking idea who
When
it
there's a
is.
goal, it's like a whodunit, you know?
Yeah.
And the crowd noise, big one.
Yeah. What's your preference?
Okay. I don't think it's a popular one, but I prefer no crowd noise.
Same.
I haven't watched one without crowd noise, but
Really?
Dave was saying how when Leno blew his knee out, you could just hear him
Yeah.
screaming in pain on the ground for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't want to hear that. And with the fake crowd noise, I was talking about how there must be some fella at the switch having the time of his life, making him boo and cheer. And he even makes him boo when you really shouldn't be, because like when the ref makes a call against the home team, he makes them boo
Yeah.
and all that.
And he's definitely been told to like preempt a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they take a shot and it's like, hey, oh,
Yeah.
and the ball's
And they
gone
get a
well
complete-
wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got one finger on the hey and one on the
Yeah.
So he can just
What I find really off-putting is I was saying to Kieran earlier when there's like a pass, or was I saying to you? It doesn't matter. When there's like a pass, long ball or something, and from our perspective, it's really hard to tell if it's good or not.
Yeah.
And usually you hear the crowd kind of like get up and
Yeah.
and nothing happens, and then suddenly like
Yeah.
Sterling is through on goal.
It brings me back having no sound. It brings me back to being at an actual football match, because you don't have that advantage of, you know, the good camera angle or the good angle, and you do hear like the ball being kicked. You do hear people shouting and swearing. I do prefer no sound, personally, because I just think it's more real, and there's a lot of errors with the audio guy. I guess we'll call him that.
the fake crowd is kind of pathetic. Like it's kind of
It's a bit naff, yeah. But what's worse is that VAR forgot to turn themselves back on.
oh yeah. Well, it was goal line technology, not VAR.
Well, I think we're gonna put them in the same bracket here and,
All right.
and slag them both. Any
Well,
opportunity.
to be honest, goal line technology so far has been impeccable.
Yeah, it's true.
Up to this point, where they were like, what even game was it? Sorry,
It was Sheffield United Villa.
okay.
I think the problem is it was the first game, like the first game of
Yeah.
the restart. Any other game we probably wouldn't have cared.
They were there like in the 10,000 games or something. We've used goal line technology. The goal has never been this obstructed, and we just couldn't get a clear angle on it. Like,
Bollocks! Like the fucking camera crew got a clear angle on
Yeah.
it. And I never knew it was cameras. I thought there was, I always wondered
lasers.
that. I always wondered,
Yeah.
like...
It's like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I thought it was
lasers,
like,
yeah.
did they put a chip in the ball or something? Like, hey, they couldn't do that, you know?
Like,
I always thought that about like counting passes or like possession statistics, and it's like, is there a chip in the ball or whatever?
Yeah.
But
there's actually people
there's
physically...
people just physically pressing buttons.
Yep. Analytics.
What a
Doesn't
shit
come
job.
from nowhere. It's
Yeah.
just,
I mean, I could never be that accurate. Although it's probably more accurate than a computer could be.
Well,
at the moment.
yeah. Well, I didn't understand that. How they say there's like, was it 7 or like 11 cameras around the goal, or and that one
Load.
fucking normal camera
Picked
could
it
see clearly.
But you could pick it up with, I say the naked eye, but it was obviously on a camera. But from
Yeah.
like the normal TV camera, it was very obvious.
Yeah.
Very obvious. We have kind of smashed into like big talking points already, but I wanted to get back to like your point, Adrian, on the taking the knee at kickoff. Of course, monumental, as Jermaine Gina said when he was playing. There was always the kick it out T-shirts, but was that anything actually done? Like, this is actual action being taken by a not a governing body, I guess, but like a large organization with a lot of influence. So it is quite a big thing.
It's striking, but it's kind of back to that thing of like, what does it do other than raise awareness? Do you know what I mean? Like the kick it out T-shirts raised awareness. People taking the knee before raises awareness. There's not much else they can do other than clamping down on it when there's crowds and stuff.
But
back
I
in.
wonder what it would be like if a crowd was there. What crowds would do?
Well, I'd imagine it would be like, remember England fans back in the day, they stopped it now, but they used to boo every national anthem for the opposite team. There's 100%, like, you only had to see London during the Black Lives Matter marches that the football lads or whatever they want to call themselves now. So they go to football week in, week out. There's no chance they'd let that happen. It is very convenient that there's no one to oppose it in the crowds.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big stand. But did you see Sadio Mane at the beginning?
Yeah.
We were joking about it before it happened. We were like, wouldn't it be funny if someone just caught the ball and ran with it and scored while everyone's taking a knee?
Sadio Mane there, like he's lined up for the Olympic 100 metres.
Yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's it. Speaking of Sadio Mane, I know we're zigzagging across topics, but listeners, like, we haven't spoke about football together for a long time, so it's probably gonna
It's a lot to catch up on.
It's all spilling over.
But Mane was in Coleman's back pocket today.
Yeah. This fella who everyone thought was finished after breaking his leg, turns out he's still the best Irish player, which maybe he has gone to shit, but he's still the best Irish player.
Doesn't say much, does it?
Yeah. I don't know. Are we talking about Liverpool? Frustrating game.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll start on it.
Yeah, I mean, we literally just watched it moments ago. Flynn, I don't know if you could name one thing that happened.
Calvert-Lewin almost came close to almost having an opportunity.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. And, I mean, I've watched a lot of the games since Wednesday. Really enjoyed them. A lot of the time I watch football without sound anyway, so it seems like back to normal quality is really good, and this was just terrible, slow, missing like key players. I had a feeling that might be a difficult game, but fucking hell, it was just so boring as well. Like,
it was like, I think one of the trends for the first games of the return of the Premier League is that the first 45 minutes barely anything happens, but there was just something different about this first half of this game.
Yeah,
it was just all wrong. I was really disappointed with the lineups, and felt like no one was interested. I think both teams are actually happy with a goalless draw.
I think, yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, Liverpool are gonna, they draw every game from now till the end of the league, they'll win it, so it's fine for them. And I think Everton just didn't want to get beat.
Yeah, it just feels without a crowd, there's no enthusiasm on the part of the players. When you see them celebrating a goal, they just kind of meekly high five or whatever. They're like, hey, great job. Whereas I was thinking, if there was a crowd, you'd be going fucking ballistic celebrating a goal.
Yeah.
So I kind of think without a crowd there, players just aren't really that arsed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say they don't care, but I know what you mean. It's hard to be as enthusiastic.
There's no outside pushing force to make because like you can't linger on the ball when the crowd is there because 50,000 people are going to be like boo or they're going to cheer when you make a tackle and you're going to be like yeah this is it, let's go. Whereas when no crowd there, that's what I've learned watching without a crowd is that all managers all they do is shout go 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 or shout players' names like Ashley go 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 go. That's all managers do, and that's their entire career.
Big bucks.
Yeah, and the best managers shout go 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 more than the others. That's it.
Very good. Yeah, that was disappointing. I didn't think too highly of Adrian. You'll be able to pronounce it better than me, but the player that Liverpool signed from Salzburg, Minamino. That's it. I thought
It's not that hard.
Yeah, but I didn't know exactly what it was.
I think his full name is Takumi Minamino, which is a bit of a mouthful.
I can remember Minamino now.
Yeah,
it's like Minami.
They just call him Taki, which isn't even.
Minamino.
It's like a mix of both names.
Yeah,
Minamino is a nice name to say.
Yeah,
Minamino.
I actually googled how do you pronounce Minamino when they signed them, and it's just a thing comes up on Google. Takumi Minamino. I was like, nice, got it. So I said it about 10 times one night, and now
thanks
I have
Google. Yeah, I guess the difference, with a derby, especially because the other games, I don't think there was as much of an intensity. Perhaps City Arsenal would have been one with an atmosphere, but I mean, it was in the City of Manchester Stadium where there arguably never is one anyway. But in the Liverpool derby or the Merseyside derby, they would usually have that pressure cooker of 20,000 fans on their backs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does matter because otherwise, home and away, teams are demonstrably better at home with their own crowd than they are away with a hostile crowd. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what they're saying about the Bundesliga is the percentage of home matches being won is so much lower than it was before the lockdown. So obviously it makes a difference if you're traveling a long way, but if you're going from Goodison to Anfield or vice versa, it makes no difference.
It's amazing how morale just makes such a huge difference to a technical sport.
And there's definitely players who get confidence from the crowd, or if a crowd is giving them shit, they get G'd up by that as well, And maybe you saw a bit of that today. But a big thing is just that the Liverpool team was kind of shit.
It was very weak. One thing I was surprised by having no sound was how little subs and coaches say during games. Like you said, that's just the manager shouting.
Yeah.
You think the players, if that was your buddy on the pitch, you might be like, yeah, go on, have a go, have a go. Nothing. They don't care.
I know, but it'd be it's their job. So if you imagine in the office, if they don't come up to you in the office every day being like, go on, yes, send the email, yeah.
I wish they would.
Go on, yeah.
They're taking my shirt off after
yeah.
loading up an Excel file. The joys.
Shit,
That's it, yeah. Moving on to what I personally think was probably the best game. Well, second best game actually, was actually on the first day of the return of the Premier League. Man City versus Arsenal. Quite an interesting first half and full time. I think we all know by now what went down. But Flynn, if you want to give us the scoop.
Look, I mean, what can you say about David Luiz that hasn't been said about Hitler? David Luiz, I was on the podcast here earlier in the year saying, he's actually okay. And Jesus, he loves you in with these okay or good performances. And you're like, yeah, you know what, maybe he is a good defender. And then, Jesus, he whacks you over the head with shit like this. And what I'm just watching this with my hands outstretched, thinking, what is happening? What is this man doing? What is going through his mind? Is he a footballer? Does he know how to play football at all? But
Like, that first goal was a perfect example of how you missed the crowd noise. Because I had the crowd noise on, but ball comes to him, he hits it with his arse, and it goes into the air, and Sterling smashes it in.
Yeah.
And there was no reaction, and I just heard, Sterling! And I looked away for a second and turned back, and I was like, what the fuck?
it's very anticlimactic, yeah. But, okay. Shocking defending for that.
Yeah.
Not even defending, anti-defending, you'd call it. It's like not attacking, it's anti-defending. Because he's just giving a leg up to the attacker. And then red card. And I just say though, I thought they changed the rules about red cards and penalties.
Yeah.
I thought it can't be a red card and a penalty.
And
this happened earlier in the season with Arsenal as well.
I
with
think,
David Luiz. No, Mustafi, sorry, but it was David Luiz.
I think what happens
Goal
is
scoring, isn't it?
it was automatically if you were the last man back before.
Yeah.
It was and it was a penalty, it was a red card. But I think they changed that. But the reason he got a red, and I think it was a harsh red, to be honest. But
it wasn't a red card foul. He was pulling someone back. It was a penalty.
I think what they were saying was he didn't try and play the ball. He was clearly
But
just...
sure, that's not a red though.
Yeah. I tend to agree, actually. But it doesn't make up for the fact that it was a disastrous, 15 minutes.
My God, yeah, the guy didn't even start the game.
He didn't start
Yeah.
because they don't want him, and they're like, he's on a 1-year deal with an option for a second, and they're not going to renew it. And this wouldn't have been an issue if it wasn't for this COVID shit pushing him
Yeah.
into this season. So, oh my God.
Well, the saddest part, I think, was Palace's game, but Chelsea offered Gary Cahill or David Luiz to Arsenal, and Luiz opted for Arsenal, or Arsenal opted for Luiz, and then we took
Cahill.
Yeah, we got Cahill, but it could have been the other way around.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean,
What are you
look,
gonna do?
it could have, hindsight's the greatest sight, I'm
Yeah.
sure, and if a year ago someone had offered you the two of them, you would have probably taken David Luiz, but
Look,
Yeah.
he's probably gone anyway. Arteta's in the media defending him.
Because he has to.
Because he has to. I
'Cause he
never
played him.
believe someone less than when I'm listening to Mikel Arteta saying that David Luiz is a part of his plans going forward. I'm like,
not a single player in that squad should be part of his plans.
Oh my God. Well, also, 2 games back now, and 3 season-ending injuries in 2 games. Pablo Mari, who was supposed to be the starting centre back, just signed. And also, he's not even signed yet. He's on loan with an option to sign. He's injured for the rest of the season, and they're going to sign him. Iran, what's his name? Xhaka. Xhaka's gone down. He's probably out for the season. Then Leno, who's been player of the season. It's always a bad sign when your goalkeeper's player of the season.
Yeah.
Leno, his fucking leg went the wrong way or something, and he's out for the season. So, I mean, Aubameyang is the only decent player they have left, and he's just, oh God, do I have to do it all myself? And Cedric Suarez,
Yeah,
his loan
ridiculous.
is going to be up. Look, I mean, that wasn't the worst idea in the world, but it wasn't a good idea.
No.
They signed him as filler. They thought the season would be over by now. Obviously, it's not. He's going to leave without playing a game. It's just like,
Enough said, really.
what the fuck? Anyway,
I felt it was mental that against Brighton was Arsenal's second game, yet Brighton looked sharper and more fit than the Arsenal players.
and it's Arsenal. They've had 2 away games now in a row in 3 days, and because of the restrictions, you travel to the place on the day within a few hours.
Yeah.
In the City game, they travel there 2 hours before kickoff or something. And their next game's away to Norwich as well. So they're going to have 3 away games in a row with these restrictions, and they're probably going to get more injuries.
But I heard, which I found was very odd, I think it was the NBC, is it NBC in the States? MPCS?
NSBC.
Yes, those guys. Permanent TSB or whatever they're
Yeah.
called. They were basically saying that on the day of the game with City, and this was right at the start of the game, the day of the game against City, they took a flight from London,
Yeah.
London Stansted, to Manchester, at 5 a.m. They then hung around a hotel with their own catering staff and obviously dusted around the hotel for the day with a game that was starting at, 8 o'clock?
Jesus.
And then they had to travel back after the game to Liverpool to get a flight back to Stansted. That doesn't logistically make any sense. Considering you can get a coach.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what they're at all.
Basically.
I can say that for 15 years. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just watching it. It's like watching performance art. Or going to like a theatre for like an amateur drama group, and you're just watching these people, and you're like, what are they at? Like, what are you doing? What's that mean? But like, they're your friends, so you have to support them or something.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
So I have to say that after every season. I'm like, yeah, I think they're making progress. I don't know what they're doing at all.
And we tried to give Arsenal so much credit. Like, I think the last time we were here, with the whole, would you rather be a United fan or an Arsenal fan? Fuck.
Yeah, but like this is it. Like when we were having that conversation a couple of podcasts ago, we were saying that it was off the back of like, was it like 6 games you went undefeated? A lot of draws now, mind, but like it was like, this is progress, a nice stable start, and then obviously this happened, and then you came back and you had 2 embarrassing defeats.
Yeah, I mean, look, the City game, I actually thought they were doing fine until David Luiz came on.
But that was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. They were doing... It wasn't...
No, I agree. It was like they lost 2-0 to City.
3.
Was it 3?
Yeah.
It was... City scored in like the 93rd minute or something.
You can cut this, but who got that last goal?
Foden.
Aguero hit the post at the end, and then...
Oh, right.
We've done our research.
But yeah, I mean, losing 3-0 to City is not...
With 10 men for like
terrible.
70 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't... I mean, it wasn't good, obviously. I feel like I say this a lot. Like, it wasn't good, obviously.
What we do, right, is we just copy and paste Flynn's reaction from every Arsenal result.
This is actually me speaking in 2011. Fucking Newcastle just came back from 4-0 down. Check Teote.
Wasn't good, obviously.
Actually, R.I.P. Check Teote.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus, it's
I forgot that
4
happened.
years to the day, I think.
Mad.
Today.
And he just dropped dead, right?
I think so.
Yeah, crazy.
I actually, I have a screenshot on my phone because that came up and it was like, 3, or you're saying 4 years ago. I
Could be 3.
didn't even realise he died.
No,
Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't.
No, it was a thing.
It was
Big
fucked.
thing.
But he wasn't with Newcastle at the time.
I don't think so.
No, I doubt it, yeah.
And it wasn't during the season.
No.
So, like, I mean, it would have been...
Must
not
have just
that it-
been like a heart attack, was it?
Yeah.
When was the last time
Cardio.
a player died during the season? Other than your man Salah. Your man...
Oh.
Yeah,
the
the
guy
plane
who died
crash.
in the...
car.
plane?
Last time.
Yeah,
It was
plane.
helicopter.
No, it was a small,
Plane.
like, little plane, wasn't it?
Alright.
So,
Last time someone died during the season.
but do you remember there was, like, a spat of like, people just dropping dead on the pitch? Or just...
But I
There
remember,
was, yeah.
I remember Fabrice Muamba dropping and not dying, but he was out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Well remembered.
And there was, like, a Cameroon player as well that did it, too. He just collapsed in the box. And
Yeah, there was like 2 years that people just kept dropping.
We didn't hear much about that. Like, I mean,
3G is when they wrote 3G out.
yeah.
Player who died while they were still a player. I don't even know.
I mean, it's probably a good thing that we're struggling,
Yeah.
right?
There's certainly not many. There was that other plane crash where it wiped out like nearly an entire team.
In Brazil,
Yeah.
Chapecoense.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the Togo bus?
Yeah,
Adebayor
Adebayor
They
was
were
on
like
that.
shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adebayor
Jesus.
got sick about that from Arsenal fans. Then.
Yeah, all right.
I think so. I think
That's
they,
fair.
they said something to him.
But as we were
Moving
saying,
on.
losing 3-0 to City isn't that bad, but the Brighton game and the manner that you lost.
I didn't even see them score the winner because I had turned it off at like 90 minutes. I was like, whatever.
It was, yeah, but I think the reaction of the Arsenal players after the game shows exactly what they are lacking, and it is a bit of discipline and
It was
just
Gendouzi
tempo.
apparently, was it?
Gendouzi like throws a little dig at Mopé as he's passing, and then he grabs him by the throat.
And Guendouzi looks like a 14-year-old girl. Like
Yeah.
genuinely,
Oh,
like even the hair. Like,
He's a
everything.
shit stirrer. He's a real shit stirrer. If you ever watch him play, he's always out to get people.
But
he's a
the
bit like that Diego Costa, but a bit more.
not
But Diego
Right.
Costa
Way.
looks mean and a bit intimidating. Like Guendouzi is like, I'll
Guendouzi-
fucking get you after the game.
He's like the bully's like sidekick.
Fuck off.
But like the bully's sidekick is more annoying than the bully.
Yeah,
It's
It's like the hype man.
Oh, you
Yeah.
just hate them more than the bully. Like
Yeah.
these fucking Weasley kids who just hang around. I won't get into the like Guendouzi.
Wow, it's turned into a therapy session.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, pretty poor. Not impressed by Arsenal at all. I don't know what division is. I don't know what the goal is.
You said the next game is Norwich.
yeah. I think so.
Surely they'd get back on track.
They were away from home again. I wouldn't be surprised if they just made a hands of it because I don't even know who's going to play. Ozil on 300, highest paid player in the league, I think, or something, doesn't even play. I'm sick of Ozil anyway. I've said this before.
Yeah.
I don't want to even talk about Ozil, but like
Well, you once said you'd prefer him in a team over Sanchez, but
Yeah,
let's not forget
but
that.
we won't forget that.
It was like 3 years ago, but
We
you still
can
said it.
actually
Alright.
copy and paste that.
Yeah.
fine. Well, like we all get some things wrong. I think that was the season though. I was saying to Dave asked, when did you give up on Ozil? And I think it was that season. At the end of that season, I said when they were playing highlight reels, and it was highlights of him scoring against Ludogorets in the champion.
Yes.
Might have been the Europa League.
Yeah.
Or
That one where
No,
he
it's
flicked over the
Champions League.
keeper.
Great goal.
Unbelievable,
And I was like, yeah, wow, what a great performance, great goal. I was still seeing that at the end of the season, and that's all they had. That's all they had to show was him against these fucking minnows from Bulgaria. Like, yeah, great goal. That's all you've done all season. You haven't done sweet fuck all else against anyone. And we're meant to buy into this, that he's a great player, and he's like, we're supposed to pretend that we're happy with this. I'm like, I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with what we're getting.
Well, like Ozil is like undoubtedly a really good player. I mean, he played for Real Madrid, did really, really well. Came to the Premier League, did really, really well,
He is.
and then is just shit. It's like 2017 happened, and he's shit.
You know, he is still good. When he plays, sometimes he still does play, and I'm like, oh wow, he picked a great pass there. Oh wow, I don't think anyone else would have seen that through ball. And you're like, he's got undoubted ability and talent, and there's a bit of magic in his passing. I'll say that, but like, Jesus, for what he's getting and for what he's supposed to be, he ain't doing it. He's supposed to be like De Bruyne. He's supposed to be right up there with De Bruyne or whoever else who's a good attacking.
But he was like playing before the lockdown. So what's he done in the last 3 months that's made Arteta go, nah, you're not. I'm not even going to give you a game.
It has to be the attitude. It has to be the attitude. And I could be wrong here, but wasn't that his like undoing at Madrid? Was that they obviously stacked full of talent, but because he wasn't the number one choice, he kind of was like, all right, get rid of me.
That's yeah.
And I think he thinks that, and it's probably true, but like I bet he thinks that he's above Arsenal and he's just going to sit out and run out that contract and someone's going to snap him up.
His attitude on the pitch is just demoralizing to everyone watching him. Like, even if he's not playing that badly, he'll sulk. He'll just shoulders down, hanging, kind of eyes on the ground, head down low, and just kind of sulking around like, and you're like, fuck's sake.
But then when you see him post like still up the Gunners and stuff, that's surely just like his agent or something.
Has to,
You know,
It's
it's not him
probably
sitting at home being like, I'm gonna still support the Arsenal.
it's probably a
said that.
scheduled tweet that he did at the start of the year.
He did that saying, yeah, Gunners, yeah. He did that in like 2015, and they've been milking it ever since, as if this guy is fucking Thierry Henry, or as if he's fucking Martin Keown or something, or as if this guy, like, if he bleeds Arsenal, like, they just keep posting, yeah, Gunners, yeah. The guy, he said, yeah, Gunners, yeah, after a game, like, in 2015, and everyone's like, yes, this guy loves Arsenal. I don't think he does. I'd say he just couldn't give a shite, and if PSG came in for him, he'd be off.
But where is he going to go? Is his contract up at the end of this year? Or,
Let me think. he signed a new contract the year Alexis went. So what's that? 2 and a bit years ago.
And how
I
long
think
was it?
I think this will be the upcoming season will be his last season.
God, so it's not even as if he's like
Yeah.
gonna like be out your hair at the end of the season
Mhm.
because I know it's like an American term, but like the cap room and the salary
Yeah.
cap that you could literally replace him with 3 great players that want to play for Arsenal.
Mkhitaryan is still on the bill as well. 200 grand.
What?
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Well, he's on loan in
Roma,
In
isn't it?
Roma.
I didn't even know.
£500,000 a week is tied up in 2 players that
Holy
don't
moly.
actually play for Arsenal. And then you've got Saka playing out of his skin.
Saka is the one bright. Him and Martinelli are like the two, and Leno before he got fucked. The only bright spots in the season are these 2 18-year-olds who are playing brilliant. Saka looks unreal, but I mean, I can't even get optimistic about that because I just think, what's he going to do in 2 years or when his contract's up? It's like,
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs at Arsenal, but I mean, it gives us absolutely comedy gold on Arsenal Fan TV, and Flynn, you do give us a good belly laugh when you lose. So
I
at
don't
least
even respond in the group chat anymore.
I know. Yeah.
I'm
But
just
that's
like,
the humour of it. You
what
just
if-
know
I
that you're
just-
at home
I
stewing.
felt really justified because I put it to you a few months ago about the Arsenal signings and David Luiz, and you were like, no, that's not the problem. David Luiz isn't the problem. So I felt totally justified then in my point.
Yeah.
for a guy for whatever, he's supposed to cover for a year. I just thought he can't be that bad. He's just been, you know.
At least no Gary Cahill.
If Gary Cahill was in Arsenal, he'd probably be doing the same shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be something.
It's probably true. It's probably true.
I don't even get excited for games. Like, I'm just like, what's going to happen now?
Friday night we had Spurs United. There's another point to how important crowds are. Is that it took me until about the 80th minute to realise, Jesus, Mourinho against his former team.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Yeah.
those things don't matter now.
No.
Do you know, I don't care. Like, can you imagine if it? I know it's not going to be, but if it was long term, no crowds, player transfers. Oh, we'll give a shit.
Oh yeah, go wherever you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game itself wasn't very entertaining. I think there was 2 big talking points. Adrian, if you want to kick us off on Tottenham's goal.
Okay. For anyone who didn't see it, this guy Berg, are we calling him Bergwijn or Bergwijn?
I think
Wow.
wine.
Oh well, okay, Bergwijn. Basically goes through on goal. Minces. So Shaw fucks up, kind of. It's a poor header, and
And he runs after it. It was so odd.
I mean,
I don't think he did that much wrong.
yeah. I mean, everyone knows Roy Keane kind of gave him, Maguire, and De Gea stick for the goal. Shaw, look, it's not great, but Bergwijn gets the goal from the header, runs at Harry Maguire, turns like you would on FIFA with a player with massive acceleration, and is through on goal and smashes it straight to Hay and just bounces in off De Gea.
Yeah.
I think De Gea's most at fault because I think it's pretty much straight at him. It's a powerful shot, but if you watch the way he goes down, he doesn't like try and catch it. It's like he goes down and tries to two-fist it, if we can call it that.
We
Can
can.
we call it that? And it just bounces off his gloves and into the roof of net. Maguire, look, did anyone ever think Maguire was brilliant?
No.
That's
no,
the thing.
what a fucking wreck. I'd rather David Luiz than him.
I mean, it's hard to argue that.
I
That's-
no, I
Maguire
don't
didn't
agree
get
with
sent
that.
off,
though.
I don't agree with that.
That's my one bright spot is that people think, yeah, everyone mocking David Luiz and he's saying, oh, he's not that bad. There are people who genuinely believe Maguire is a good defender.
He has so many flaws.
Turning
Like,
circle
he's-
of a fucking iceberg.
He's been exposed there. Definitely, he's been exposed. But David De Gea has done this, like I would say 4 or 5 times this season, where he's like, I only saw before things came back that one where he like basically catches it and drops into the top corner.
Yeah.
I forget who it's against, but like that guy is just gone, totally gone.
What happened? Like, he was the best keeper in the world. He was lined up to go to Madrid. That fell through.
2018 World Cup, I'd say.
Mm.
Spain, He didn't make a single save in that tournament.
And Spain did terrible in that
And
tournament.
he got a bit of a slating in the Spanish
He had
media,
a
I think.
howler in that as well, didn't he?
I think so. And he got a bit of a doing by the Spanish. And I guess his confidence just shattered. And he hasn't really been any good since.
Wasn't it that every shot that he faced went in?
Went in. I think so. I don't think he made it. I think that's that
He may as well have not been there.
like,
Exactly.
Yeah, like he didn't. I don't think he made a save that tournament.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
it's like the worst stat ever for a.
You could
for a
actually
keeper.
play with 10 men and no goalkeeper. Oh,
That reminds me of a stat I saw for Bayern Munich in like 20 when they won the treble. That in the league they could have played the league without Neuer, without anyone in goal, and they would have won the league still.
Yeah.
Because they
Nuts.
faced so few shots on target.
But
And
the Bundesliga is shit, as we've all found out.
Yeah, we've all found that out now.
Yeah, only since the isolation, like, because I'd watch some games, but it'd mostly be the big games. But it'd be Dortmund, Munich, probably 2-3 times a season, mostly. But I used to think there was a good competitive edge to it until isolation happened, and every team, including Dortmund, that Munich play, are like
They roll
schoolboys.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mental the gap.
Yeah.
And then they've got like so many great players on the bench as well. They've got such depth.
Munich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy team. Like, we think it's bad with, like, you know, City having the edge in recent years, but PSG and Munich are like miles ahead of any other team in their leagues.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a bit weird that they're called Bayern Munich instead of Bayern München, which is, you know, their name in Germany. But like Bayern is German for Bavaria, but Munich is English for Munchen or whatever, however they say it. So it's like half English, half German. It's like, pick one. Why say Bavaria Munich or Bayern München?
It's the whole making it, you know, market.
Commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
In other countries, they call teams like, they say Arsenal London or London Arsenal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Liverpool.
Merseyside Red. It's like Pez.
Yeah.
What's the story with Inter Milan and Internazionale? That's one I never understand.
Interesting split. They were both the same team,
Yeah.
and then there was, back in the day, it was to do with foreign players, basically. AC Milan wanted Italian only. Internazionale is like international, allowed non-Italian players, and then they formed that
Yeah.
one.
I don't think they're actually called Inter Milan. They're just Inter.
Internazionale.
But people go on when you say when you call AC Milan AC, they're like, that's stupid. That's like calling a team, FC in England. I'm like, no, it's like calling a team United or calling a team, Sporting or Athletic. You know,
Yeah.
people, it's fucking. We know who AC are. There's no other AC in the
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
world. It's like there's probably tons of ACs in Italy, but when you say AC, you know it's AC Milan.
Yeah.
Just like there's tons of Uniteds in England, but when you say United, you know it's Man United.
It's true. It's
Good
true.
point.
Yeah. It's funny how many Italian clubs were formed by Englishmen.
Yep.
A lot of clubs have like the English flag in
Yeah.
their crest, like AC Milan,
And Barcelona.
Barcelona, Juventus have their famous zebra colours from Notts County.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, where do these English people come from? Like, were they all just around Europe in the 1800s?
Yeah, and just had like this massive following of people because they had like a
Yeah.
pigskin that they kicked around.
Yeah, how did this
like
game
modern day
catch on?
Jesus?
Imagine showing someone football for the first time, and just the whole country just adopts it as their national sport. Like Brazil, a country like 100 million people, with like half black and half white slaves and all this, and it's just like, we'll just all play this English sport instead of anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, not to be like the boring person, but I think it's because they did it through factories. Like every factory had a team, and the factories wanted to like go head to head with each other.
I wonder why
So-
football caught on instead of something else though. Like,
Do you think like fighting would be the easy
you
choice?
would think that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
people don't want to get hurt then.
Yeah, you would,
True.
you would lose
Like if someone was
employees.
like,
Yeah,
do you want to boot a ball around there or do you want to beat the shit out of each other? I'd be like,
why not
let's go with
both?
the ball. Yeah, but that's rugby then. That's
Yeah,
how
that's
that
true.
started.
That's true.
It's just
And it is
numbskulls.
it's just a game that you can play without needing anything other than a sphere.
Yeah, like when
You
people
know?
say, "Oh, it's like a contact sport."
That's a lot of what separated like
Bollocks.
rich sports from poor sports is that what you need to play it. Like rich sports, you need a horse or a boat or a yacht, like or a fucking plane. But
This you just need lads.
yeah, or jumpers for goalposts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard that the reason it's called football is because it's played on foot instead of on a horse,
There you go.
which I don't believe. But
That makes
American football is called football because the American football, the actual football, is a foot long.
They're just a different breed of stupid, really, aren't they? Fuck's sake,
And
like,
the kicking in American football is so minimal.
like, just call it run hit boy.
Is that not Steve Finnan?
That would explain the game better than football.
run, push, brain damage.
Like, imagine going to Mars and saying we have this amazing sport called football. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And how close they'd get. They'd get as close as soccer. If you went to Mars and said, we play a sport called Run Hit Boy, they'd probably get not far away from American football. And then you say, well, actually, we have this kind of ball-looking thing. It's a foot long, but that's it. You'd be like, get the fuck back to Earth.
After they've spent like a year trying to figure it out. Why did you come up with this name? Well, the ball is actually a foot long.
Yeah. They'd be like, what's a foot?
Zap.
They won't what's a foot. Probably like jellyfish people or something.
But all your feet are different sizes.
Yeah, no one's foot is a foot long either. They say that like a foot came from like the King of England's foot size. It's like what kind of fucking inbred fuck was this fella? a foot long, like a clown.
I love it. I mean, how do I continue on? Who the fuck knows where we were?
Well, we were talking about United. I
yeah.
Can I talk about Dave?
Of course you can.
So
Hi, Dave.
I'm sure Dave is listening to this, and I should have asked beforehand if I can even mention him. But for anyone who's listening that isn't Dave, Dave is a friend of ours and listens in and sometimes appears on the PUPcast. We were talking about the United game and the United team, and I have a quote that he messaged us. So he said, people expect too much from a top 4 team at best. Would be like comparing Arsenal to the Invincibles, referring to United after,
Okay.
I think we do compare Arsenal to the Invincibles, and it's like you're always going to compare a team that was brilliant to when they were brilliant. So United were brilliant for 25 years, something like that, right?
Yep.
Now suddenly, it's not that they're shit. Look, they're not like Norwich, they're not Coventry or something like that, but they're certainly nowhere near as good as they should be, despite the fact that they have multiple £1 million players in their team. And to come up with this excuse of, well, you can't compare that to United with Ferguson because it's not fair. It totally is fair because that's the standard you set.
I think it's kind of true because now you've kind of like described it for everyone. I was thinking of like comparisons, and it's true. Non-English teams, when I think of Madrid, I always compare them to the Galacticos. And when I think of Barcelona, it's always like, when it was Messi, Sanchez, Eto'o, Ibrahimovic, all those lads.
When they won trebles.
Ronaldinho, sorry. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I kind of think that it's a natural comparison, right?
And like, as a Liverpool fan, sure, like, I've only grown up with teams that had 1 or 2 really good players, but it was always like, oh, they should be doing better, they should, these teams with like 1 or 2 great players and the rest is like what you think is good, but is actually bang average. I remember having Barini and thinking, well, he's an Italian international, he's got to be good. And he turned out to be total dog shit, And that's the thing that United fans either need to realise or, change their perception or something, is that...
I just remember Barini's celebration biting his hand.
Yeah, never caught on.
What a wanker.
I wonder why. He got sent off He plays for Hellas Verona now.
I think he's on loan.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got sent off yesterday.
He's actually with Milan, but he's on loan with Verona.
Really?
I think. Someone can cut that if.
Phil will work his magic.
But you know, it's this thing of like, United do have some really good players, undoubtedly, but the majority of their players are bang average.
For me, it's the exact same as like with Arsenal. What is the plan? Like you look at Pep Guardiola, and you look at Jurgen Klopp. They have plans. They have styles for their team, and they do very, very well. Obviously, Man City have a ton of money, and Pep Guardiola does well because he has an open checkbook. But what is United's vision now? Like, what is their actual style of play?
I guess. I mean, in fairness, they have quick players, so I think they'll turn into a counter-attacking team, like Rashford, James, things like that.
But yeah, I do think it's fair to compare them to Fergie's best teams, and Fergie's teams weren't even good half the time. They were just really good squads.
They had bang average players throughout the team in his title-winning teams.
Yeah.
Like really bang average. Wes Brown and John O'Shea and all these lads. Even, I mean, Berbatov wasn't that great either. I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't mean to shit all over Dave. Like, Dave, when you hear this, you're more than welcome to come on and defend the point you were trying to make. Maybe I've just used the exact quote and tried to argue it, but I just think, look, United are where they are. That's it. They're maybe a top 4 team, but I don't know.
I think it's harder for United and for Arsenal fans too to like accept where they currently are because of the last 10 years.
But there's been teams that had to do it the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Newcastle, Liverpool,
Newcastle
Leeds.
were never at the level of United or Arsenal.
I think having to deal with things like relegation and being in relegation fights like year on year, though, you know?
Yeah.
It's a big difference. But I think in the opposite is true too. That there's a lot of like teams that you call small or poor players or poor squads that actually get underrated in the Premier League right now. One being Palace,
Yeah?
Sheffield United, like top half teams that if you put them next to Everton, every time people are going to be like, "No, Everton better team."
But that's always the thing with the Premier League is like it's the most competitive.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, PSG are so far ahead of whatever the bottom team is. Whereas in England, like, I mean, you play Southampton, who should be on paper shit, are probably still going to play good football and make it hard for you.
I think that's one thing we've learned with a lack of football is how lucky we are to be. I know we're not in England, but closest to in Ireland to have access to it is the best league in the world, no doubt.
Is it the most watched?
I think so, yeah.
I'd say so.
It's
Because
in
it's
all
a big
those
market in the US.
Asian and American, so.
Oh no, I heard that the Bundesliga was, but
It is boss.
Probably during the
No,
time that
during
there was
the-
no other games.
yeah.
Jesus, this is the most watched game ever.
Did any of you watch La Liga actually?
I did, yeah.
No.
It
I'm
was-
such a fucker. Like, I mean, Messi is the best player who's ever played the game, probably, and I've seen him play live.
I think if you've watched 75% of his games, you've not watched enough. Because we will never get him again.
Yeah,
I watched him destroy Arsenal enough times.
I watched that with you. Yeah, that was brilliant.
It happened a few times.
Lots of times.
Remember the one where he flicked over?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
I know.
And when Van Persie got sent off.
Yes, I remember that too.
That was bullshit, though.
That was bullshit.
Absolute whistling every time Arsenal got the ball. The second he kicks the ball, the referee blows.
Yeah.
Oh, kick the ball away.
Look, I'll go to my grave
Troll
talking
City.
about that.
I remember how livid you were that
If
night.
I die and go to fucking the pearly gates, I'll just be asking God, what was that? What was that about? what was that about? I'm not coming in to explain that to me. I'll go downstairs. I'll be
You'd
happy.
go to hell rather than find out what God's plan was.
If that was his plan, he can shove it up his fucking hole.
You hear that, God?
God, our avid listener. It's not often I get to speak about it, but Palace had a great result this weekend. Arguably played some of the best football that we saw this weekend as well.
Very arguably. But,
Very
Arguably,
arguably.
since I didn't see it.
That was pretty good. I was very happy. Came out the blocks flying. Zaha looks great again. Team is fully fit. Seeing a full bench is nice for once. Bournemouth are in trouble. Bournemouth are in big trouble.
But I think every team in the relegation zone is in big trouble.
I think Villa looked the best of all of them. I do. I thought they put up a good fight against Chelsea.
Yeah, but was it Watford they played as well?
They played Sheffield United and they drew 0-0.
Sheffield United, of course, yeah.
It's not too bad.
Who did Watford play? Was it?
Leicester.
Drew 1-1.
Cut all that then, because I thought they played it.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. No, I think
Craig Dawson scored a bicycle kick.
he
Yeah.
did. He did.
Didn't even know he was still playing.
And that's it. 60. I got 30 seconds on Palace before we moved away.
Sorry, yeah, no, I mean, look, yeah, Bournemouth are in trouble. I just did want to double check the table because, yeah, you're ninth.
We're flying it.
2 ahead of Arsenal.
2 ahead of Arsenal and 4 points off Europa League, which potentially could be Champions League if City's thing is upheld.
Level on points with Spurs. Would
Feels
you
good.
believe at the start of the season you'd be sandwiched between Arsenal and level on points with Spurs?
And would you believe it in a team that has Jordan Ayew as a lone
Hodgson
striker?
as manager. No, not to shit on him, but like he's a certain type of manager.
He was a bit of a joke for a while after
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
He was a
And with
bundle
England.
of jokes.
And with England too, he didn't do himself
Yeah.
any favours with that. But and this is what kind of makes me happy enough as a Palace fan is that I've kind of laboured point in this podcast now, but I'm like, what direction and what vision or style do United have or Arsenal have? I know very firmly what Palace set up to do every game, and so far this season, it's worked. And the signings we make, albeit not many of them, serve a purpose. With Benteke back fit now as well, we actually look far better, which is a funny thing to say considering how goal shy he is. But he wins every header.
Of course he does.
Every header. Such
That's
a
one
big
thing
lad.
he'll do.
Yeah,
He's a fucking beanpole.
they might not go anywhere.
It's not even how tall he is, but the shape of his head has to be something to do with it. He
Yeah.
has the oddest shaped head.
It's like what's the name of that dinosaur that has like the big bone behind his Triceratops.
Triceratops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. His head like opens out the back.
And he's got 2 little horns.
Runs around on all fours. Tail and all.
That's our Benteke.
Do we have to cut that?
No.
Okay.
I was going to start talking about dinosaurs there.
What's your favourite one?
Welcome to the DinoCast.
I was mad into dinosaurs as a kid. Like, I could name every fucking dinosaur
Yeah.
ever. And I've forgotten it all.
I always think a Stegosaurus is called a Triceratops for some reason.
Triceratops, just think of the 3 horns.
Yeah, that's how I always.
Try.
Yeah.
But you could say that about all dinosaurs. They're all named after
Yeah.
parts of them.
Some of them had the fucking most stupid names, like fucking the Maxi Predatosaurus or something. And you're like, they just want their dinosaur to sound better than Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Did I read that?
Nothing sounds better.
Did I
than
read
Tyrannosaurus
that
Rex.
they could actually clone dinosaurs? Is that true?
Apparently, technology is at a stage where they could, but you'd have to find like not dead matter of them to do it, isn't it? Like all we have is like
no idea.
dusty bones. Like
I always liked the Allosaurus
why?
because he was like a smaller version of a T-Rex. He was a bit like a hipster T-Rex.
He's humble, was he?
He was a T-Rex who didn't get credit.
Fair.
Was it in Jurassic Park?
No, exact. See, if you weren't in Jurassic Park,
You're not. a
you
dinosaur.
weren't a top tier dinosaur.
No.
Even the fucking pterodactyls, they were only in part 3.
Yeah, surprising.
Oh, they were shit in part 3. There was one
I
bit
thought
in
they were
part
good
3.
in part 3.
There's one bit where like one of the
They're the only
pterodactyls
good bit of
like
part 3.
slowly looks at the camera menacingly,
that.
but it just looks like a I don't even know what you call it. Like a pelican,
Pelican.
just like looking menacingly, and it just doesn't work.
I thought it was fine.
What I find is amazing is that I was saying this to you earlier as well, but my son struggles with words like cucumber, but like you can name every fucking dinosaur he sees, and they're all like 5-6 syllables long.
Yeah.
No hassle. It's
What?
funny.
Why does he struggle with cucumber?
Well, I think he can say cucumber, but he struggles with some pronunciations because he's 3.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, no. But I was wondering, was it something to do with the cucum, or was it the umber?
Oh, well, he has a funny thing where instead of saying like look, L's seem to be a problem now, but I think that's common, right? Because that's why he says red lorry, yellow lorry.
Yeah.
So he says like hook here. It's like, all right.
That's like that. Have you seen that meme? I've been mad for it recently. I call it a meme. It's just a video of the like, what are those?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She does it to his kid. She's like, what are those? He's like, oh, they call my sandals. I'll find it really quick.
Too sure.
I mean, you can cut this obviously because this is
Absolutely not. This is gold.
Don't be afraid of dead air. Isn't that what they say? Who's dead?
Who's they?
What are those? They're called my sandals.
Aww. Poor kid.
Shit, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like he's on the.
Yeah.
They call my sandals. So yeah, I guess L's are a problem.
Yeah, they are.
So what you have to do with your tongue a lot of times, sandals, like even for like R's and stuff and S's, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where your tongue is.
Yeah, like it's a stereotype, but a lot of like Far East cultures, they just have no L sound, or they just can't pronounce the sound. They just can't make it at all. It's just if they grew up in another country, they would, but they've just grown up unable to do it.
Yeah, because even like when you roll your R, not like the R, but there's a way to
that's
like
nice.
get a kind of.
Fucking Tony the Tiger here.
But there's a way to do it with your throat, like
See, I can't do that.
But if I try and do that, I'm just using like spit
Yeah.
to go. But there's a way to just use your throat to.
I had to go to speech therapy to say R's and S's.
Did you?
I still get them wrong sometimes.
You picked up your R's and S's.
No.
How do you say cars?
How'd you say
Kazar.
I can't even say my own name properly. Like, the way... Say my name there.
Connor.
Yeah, Connor.
I would have been like, Connor.
Oh yeah. But you
It's-
don't have that problem now. I've never heard you mispronounce an R and S.
Alright? Because, sometimes I get paranoid. Like, am I fucking up and people are just
Nah.
being
But
polite?
like they're common enough. Like a
I
lot of
think
people-
everyone, especially when you listen back, like I am right now in the car. Hello. Like you hear yourself and you're like, that was a bit lispy. That was a bit lispy or something.
I think it's about
Even saying
conversation
it, that
too,
was a
though.
bit lispy. I'm like, where's my tongue? Lispy.
Yeah, but like none of us are like trained orators. Like, so of course there's gonna be
I guess.
mess ups and stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you find you consciously change your accent? Like, because, I mean, coming from England, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think you change it?
100%, and I could nearly pinpoint the time that I had to tone down
Yeah.
when I would my first like month in Ireland. Everyone was like, "Sorry." I was like, "I'm coming from a fucking country that's this language is based from."
I made this
Yeah.
language.
And people would be like, "Sorry."
I'm doing it right, you're doing it wrong.
Like I say, car. I drive a car.
Yeah.
And people would be like, "What?" And I'd have to go, car. Car.
Yeah, but you can really pick out the people in school who were like, "What you do? What?"
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
When I went to England recently, I went to like Bristol and I was getting a haircut. Bit weird to be getting your haircut on holiday. Anyway,
Yeah.
but they were like, well, "What's the plan for tonight, lads?" And we were like, "Oh, we might just go to a bar." And they were like, "A what?" I was like, "A bar." And they were like, "Bar? What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Pub." Like, "Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay." It's like, "A bar."
And Bristol is Bristol has like a culty accent anyway. Like it's pretty similar. It's like Welsh.
It's funny, and like in my head, you still have like an English accent, but the more I listen to it now, like consciously, it's not that.
It's not. And like this is the other thing too is that when I started working for an American multinational, company where I dealt with American clients, I had to change some of my already evolved Anglo-Irish accent to be more Americanized. So like,
Howdy.
Howdy.
So yeah, my accent is definitely a mashup.
Yeah.
And then poor Ollie then, with me with 3 accents and Paulina with a
Yeah.
fucking Polish Irish accent.
Yeah.
Ollie's got no hope. It's gonna come out like
Yeah. But
Arnold
he'll be
Schwarzenegger.
bilingual, and that's the fucking best thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Probably start to talk like Conor McGregor.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I didn't know it was proper number 12. I thought it was just proper 12.
Proper number 12, yeah.
Fucking
What?
Yeah, like there's an advert in the States, I don't know if it's in Ireland too, where he's promoting it and he says, proper number 12. And
Oh.
I was like, I just thought it was called proper 12, not proper number 12. His whiskey.
Yeah, but it's like, was the number word on the label like?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Or did
I
he just have to clarify it for
It's
the
like
Yankees?
N-O dot.
yeah, but I just thought that was like, you just
Oh.
overlook that. That's just a...
Yeah, let's just call it proper 12. I haven't tasted it yet.
It's
Fine.
fucking Bushmills.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
It's normal. I can't tell
Grand.
whiskies apart. Yeah.
I can
I
drink.
can't tell beers apart most of the time.
Beers depends.
I can definitely drink most beers, but I find which one is a Carlsberg from a bottle, like rancid. Just specifically Carlsberg from a
It
bottle.
tastes like a basement somewhere.
Yeah.
You can...
A basement somewhere.
How specific?
You can... I probably am a bit crazy, but I can tell the difference between green and brown bottle beers. Like, if you drink them, there's a different taste.
Was that because, like, in Poland they have a lot of brown bottle beers and stuff?
Well,
and you
that's-
get that certain.
That's the thing, is that I became accustomed to drinking from
Yeah.
a glass bottle, because, like, we're all cans here. Cans and
Yeah.
pints.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a lot of bottle drinking in
Yeah.
Europe. So.
And is it the reason they have in coloured glass is to stop sunlight spoiling it or something?
And it's also just to make it easier to pick up from the ground if it smashes.
Oh.
Because if you have clear glass, smashes on the ground, you
Okay.
kind of have to corner off the area, or someone fall over and slice the knee open. But with a brown glass, you're gonna see it. Green glass, likely gonna see it.
Makes sense.
And it's cheaper to produce, and it's recyclable too.
Wow.
I'm here all week, lads.
Fuck do you know
Fuck
about
the
this
football
shit?
podcast.
There you go.
Talk to me about glass.
You found his true passion now.
See, yeah.
Yeah.
You should see my collection.
Next week we talk stained glass.
Well, I've got dinosaurs. Kieran's got glass. What do you got?
Don't say music.
Euphonium. Yeah.
Oh god, you're taking away music and football.
Nothing left.
What am I?
I have to think about that. Not much.
Like, okay, so like if you're at a meal or a social occasion and you only half know some of the people, what's like your go-to fact or what's your go-to conversation starter?
Well, I would 100% never come up to them and be like, "I've got this amazing fact for you."
Well, no, but in in
like to
passing,
hear it?
you know, everyone has something in their arsenal, right?
I don't know. Maybe just being a good conversationalist.
To be honest, I find most of the time if I'm talking to someone at like a wedding or something, they're off their face plaster
Yeah.
half the time, and I just nod along like, yeah.
No, I think it's easy to. I find it strange when people are like, "Oh, I don't know what to say to people. I'm not good with people." Like, literally, just ask them their horoscope. Like, they're either not gonna know, or they'll know a little bit, or they'll know loads.
I would
And if they
never
don't know
ask
any,
them that.
what?
What? That's
I've never done that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd be like,
I've
"This
never
is
done it
weirdo.
off the top of my head. Connor, what's your horoscope?
Can I swap
Scorpio.
seats? Me too.
Oh, weird. Oh, really?
Oh, there we go. Conversation started.
Here
We
we
should
go.
do a podcast.
Conversation's flowing.
Oh.
You know, and if someone says, "What the fuck is a horoscope?" You know, loads to talk about. If they're
No,
like,
there's loads to talk about.
you're like, "You've never heard of a horoscope, you imbecile."
I'm 4.
Just nut 'em. There's your
Finn.
fucking horoscope.
Finn.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like, people love to talk about themselves. Like, that's the thing. If you're ever in an awkward,
Yeah.
you know, where are you from? Where'd you go to college? What do you do?
Yeah.
Got like 15 minutes there.
Give someone an excuse
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah,
themselves. and they'll
absolutely.
just run
How many
with
brothers
it.
and sisters do you have? None. And you're like, oh.
That
we
must
go.
be
Yeah.
have been difficult growing up as a single child. It's like,
Well,
no, not really, because
Because my parents gave me loads of money.
Yeah.
what was that?
These accents on display tonight are brilliant. I have to say.
Oh, we should do an accent podcast.
Can't wait till you compile them again.
Yeah.
We'll have a special guest for the accent
Oh,
podcast.
May or may not be good. It's debatable, I guess.
Professional accentist.
Son, you should do the intros.
Crocodile Dundee.
In your accent, yeah. Train for a week.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah, see? That's what happens. This is why we never speak about Palace.
Oh, yeah, the fourth quarter went out of control.
This is still about Palace.
So basically, John Nayu, best player in the league.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
disagree.
Well, what's his horoscope?
Let's talk about it next time.
Alright, will we wrap up?
Wrap it up.
It's been a good one, lads. It's been a good one. Well, I know I've enjoyed the return to the podcast. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back in probably a couple of weeks when there's been more football played to wrap up the season. Liverpool, maybe champions by then.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal, maybe. Maybe 10th. But yeah, thanks for listening and see you next time.
Love.
To the moon, that pressure.